are not going to even touch the mind and the spirit. That's part 2, if we decide to do that at some point. So we're really only doing half of what it takes to be healthy. Because remember, you can have a healthy body but still not be a healthy person. It's being healthy is more than just a healthy body. So, but we are talking about the body, right? And remember, we said to have a healthy body, you have to have good nutrition, you have to exercise, and rest. So that just went through 3 slides. Okay? And under rest, we have sleep. Yay, I love sleep. And the Sabbath rest. And we're going to see that that is very important for us as well. Okay? Not just for our bodies, but for our spirit as well. So for sleep, we need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. And I know a lot of people that say, no, I do fine on 4, or I do fine on... No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. All right? Your body needs 7, as an adult, 7 to 9. If you are a kid, you need more than that. But as an adult, to be healthy, you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a day. And the Bible even talks about sleep. Did you know that? God thinks sleep's important as well. Proverbs 3:24 says, when you lie down, you will not be afraid. Yes, you will lie down, and your sleep will be sweet. That word sweet means it's pleasant, it's agreeable, it's good. And yeah, and so one of the things that keeps us from sleeping well, by the way, is fear, anxiety. And that's why that is in there. But again, that's another part of our health that I talk about in another part of this seminar when I talk about the mind. But the word sweet, that's what it means right there, to be agreeable, pleasant, take pleasure in. It's good. And then Solomon said this. He said, the sleep of a laboring man is, there it is again, same word, it's agreeable, it's pleasant. Whether he eats little or much doesn't really matter, but the abundance of the rich will not allow him to sleep. So that has to do with anxiety and worry, because guess what? Rich people, they worry about their money. Is someone going to take it from me? Am I going to have enough? Blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on. But sleep is extremely important for us. And as adults, we should be getting 7 to... What happens in our sleep that makes it so important? The body does its repair work at night. Yeah, and so you have to get into actually deep sleep too for that to happen. So you can just be in the REM light sleep, and that's not going to happen so much. But if you get in, you need to get into that deep sleep, and so that your body will repair whatever damage was done during the day. It's very, very, very important. It's as important to our health as nutrition and exercise. We must rest our bodies. They need that. Remember, God created our bodies to go and do, to work and to go do things. That's why our bodies like to be active and like to do, but they wear out and they need rest. There's some foods, did you know there's some foods that help promote a restful sleep? Beans. You wouldn't think that would, but they do. They have a chemical in them that actually helps you to relax. Whole grains. Lentils. There's more beans in my opinion. But chickpeas, hummus, right? That's made out of chickpeas. Hazelnuts, These are all foods that have chemicals in them that help us to sleep. Eggs, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, peanuts, and raw dairy products. I know that's going to come up here in a minute. There it is. Those are foods that all help to promote restful sleep. And one that isn't in there that I think works really well too is turkey. Because turkey has tryptophan in it, which is something that helps you sleep as well. And sleep is important, very important. They have some pretty good sleep aids. And I'm not talking about sleeping pills. I think sleeping pills aren't good because I don't think you get into a deep sleep with those. But you have, I can't think of the name of it. What's the name of it? Melatonin, which is a natural substance. And what's that? And valerian root, another one, yes, yeah. And in fact, a lot of people drink valerian root tea right before bed, and it helps. And they give it to their children that are bouncing off the wall too, and it works for that. And so, yeah, and melatonin as well as 5-HTTP works well for that as well. So, what's that? Yeah, you don't want to eat sugar before you go to bed, that's for sure. Yeah, or drink a lot of coffee either, in my opinion. Caffeine tends to get you going. Too much sleep is not good. Do you know you can oversleep? Yeah, you can get too much. And Proverbs, God has something to say about that. How long will you sleep, O sluggard? When will you arise out of your sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, so your poverty will come upon you like a vagabond, and your want like an armed man. Yeah. And then again, he said it twice, so we'd get it. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, so shall your poverty come like a robber, and your want like an armed man. So I had a patient one time. She came to us. She was very sick, having lots of physical problems. She was in bed sleeping 21 hours a day. 21 hours a day. She was overweight. She could hardly walk. She was just really, really in bad shape. And she came in and she said, "What can you do for me?" I said, "Well, tell me about, and then I found out how much she's in bed. Her husband was there, and he said, "Yeah, she's in bed 21 hours a day, sleeping, at least most of it." So the first thing I did was tell her she can't sleep that long, that she had to get up and out of bed. And of course, they did a process of that. And of course, in therapy, we started doing exercises and stuff that she could do because she was very weak. When you lay in bed 21 hours a day, you're not going to have much strength. Anyway, we got her back to normal. Praise God, yeah. It was quite amazing. And I thought, man, this can be a tough one. But and it was. It took her a long time. But she decided that she wanted to get back. I mean, when you lay in bed and sleep too much, it's just not good for you. It's not good for you. In fact, most people, when they sleep too much, they feel bad anyway. It makes you not feel good, right? You're more groggy and you're not as good. 7 to 9 hours, perfect amount of sleep, and then your sleep will be sweet. Your sleep will be sweet. Did I say that right? Yeah, just like it says in Proverbs, and we need to do that. Well, our body also needs a day off. Did you know that? Why do you think God created the Sabbath? A day of rest. Did God need to rest, do you think? Did he get weak and he needed to rest? Genesis 2:2-3, and on the seventh day ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day. God rested. Right? That word rested is Shabbath. to repose, to lay back. God just said, I'm done. Right on the seventh day from all of his work which he made, and God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all of his work which God created and made. So God rested on the seventh day, not because God was tired. Does God get tired? No. My goodness, he couldn't get tired. He rested to give us an example for us, right? And then he told his people in Exodus, 6 days you will gather, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, in it there will be no work done. It's a day that you're supposed to take to allow your body, because we've been active the whole time if we're doing things right? We've been active for 6 days. We've been doing stuff. What you need to take one day and just chill, to put it in nowadays terms. Worship is, yeah, really, the worship is great. In Exodus 23:12, when he talked to him, he said, 6 days you will do your work, and 7th day you will rest, that your ox and your donkey may rest, and the son of your handmaid and the stranger may be, what word is that? Refreshed. Your body needs time to recover. Here God's saying even your animals need the rest. They don't need to be working every day. It's so important that we take one day of rest. I don't care if it's Saturday. I don't care if it's Sunday. I don't care if it's Monday. I don't care if it's Tuesday. I don't care what day it is. That doesn't matter, I don't think. Because the Sabbath was made. Did you know the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath? Did you know that? Yeah, Jesus had to tell us that, right? That word refresh, by the way, when it says that they need to be refreshed, it means to breathe. To take a breath. Just stop for a day. Just stop. Boy, we don't do that anymore, do we? Kind of crazy. I remember when I was young, on Sundays, everything was shut down. Do you remember that? Some of us that are old enough, we remember that. Everything was just closed. You didn't go do anything on Sunday. And it's kind of crazy, but I thought, well, what's this? And, it was a day of rest. Because Jesus said this, he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. That's what Jesus said. The Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. Because we need a day of rest for our bodies to recover and to rejuvenate. What's that? And our minds to rest. Yeah. And in fact, in Israel, the women would make the meals for the Sabbath day the day before, so that they didn't have to do that work of cooking and all that too. Because guess what, housewives? You need a rest too. All of it. You've heard the saying, women's work is never done. That's true. They work constantly, and that's not the way it should be. It's not good for you. It's not good for your bodies that you don't have a day where you can just sit back and say, So Sunday would be a good day to just eat leftovers, right? Go pop them in the oven and heat them up. I'm not going to say microwave, because that isn't necessarily good either. But our bodies need rest. We can't go 24/7. We weren't created to do that. We were created to go 24/6 and rest. Not really 24 either, but we need to rest. Rest is very, very, very important to our health. And in fact, when we don't sleep enough, we have a lot of health problems. And again, I see that a lot with my patients as well. Our last topic. Normally, this is under the spiritual part of my spiritual health, part of this biblical health thing. But it's so important to your body physically that I thought we would talk about it at the end of the session here. This is probably the most important thing that you can do to help your body feel better. Because fasting does so many good things for you. So this is what fasting is. Abstinence from lack of food or voluntary or religious reasons, especially on the Day of Atonement. It's on the Bible. That's your word, nestia. And it just means to stay away from food. It's interesting to me that Jesus, when he was talking to the disciples, he said this. He said, moreover, when you fast. So he didn't say if you fast. He said, moreover, when you fast. Like he expected that they were going to fast. When you fast, don't be like the hypocrites of a sad countenance saying, woe is me, right? They disfigure their faces and that they can appear to men, look how bad I am. He said, no, when you fast, verily I say to you, they have their reward. But when you fast, and that's why this is in the spiritual, because it's part of really of a spiritual worship thing too. When you fast and anoint your head and wash your face, you appear like you're not fasting, but to your Father, who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. There's a reward to fasting. We don't see that with all the other health stuff, but with fasting, we see that God will reward you. It's that important. Some of the Jews, like this good Pharisee, he stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank you that I am not as other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice in the week. Instead of just once, he fasted twice. And he said, look how good I am. Of course, fasting doesn't make you good or bad. Right? And he was trying to say, look, we're supposed to fast once a week, but look at me. I do it twice a week. And so fasting is just very important for the church and for us. I'm trying to get that back one. There we go. When they had ordained elders in every church and had prayed with fasting. So it was a real common thing in the early church that the people fasted. A very, very healthy thing. And we're going to look here in a minute and see all the good that fasting does. But let's talk about fasting itself. So, how's the best way to fast? You know, there's a lot of ways to fast out there. So, the one that we know the best is just say, I'm not going to eat for 24 hours. Right? And that's a great fast. Some people say, I'm not going to eat for 48 hours. That's not a good fast. Well, no, it is, but I can't do it. So that's a great way to do it. There's even easier way that's just as beneficial. They studied it. Just as beneficial as fasting for 24 hours for the body, because it does the same thing. And it's called intermittent fasting. You ever heard of that? Yeah. So intermittent fasting is not eating for a certain amount of time every day. Okay? And they've determined that if you can limit your eating to a 6 to 8 hour period, okay, 6 to 8 hours, it will do your body a world of good. It will do as good as if you fasted for 24 hours. It is a great thing, yeah. Do you? Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, and you can work. The nice thing about intermittent fasting is you can work yourself into it, right? So, you know, if you're looking at it, let's say we're going for an 8-hour window. So that means I'll choose, I can eat between 10 and 6 is the time that I can eat. Okay, that's 8 hours, which means I'm not eating for 16 hours, right? But I'm trying to get there, and I'm not there yet. So let's say I'm going to start with 12 hours that I won't eat anything. Okay? I might do that for a week. So instead of 10 o'clock, I'm going from 6, let's say 6 in the morning to 6 at night. So that's 12 hours, 12 hours. Now, I'm not going to get much benefit from that, but I'm starting to train myself, okay? So now, the next week, I'm going to go from 7 to 6, right? So now, I'm fasting 13 hours. Then the next week, I'm going to go from 8 to 6. Now I'm fasting 14 hours. See how I'm doing that? Yeah. And then the next I go and on until I get to that 10 to 6, where I'm fasting for 16 hours. Now let me tell you, once you've been fasting for 12 hours, your body changes. That's when it starts to change. It takes 12 hours, though, that it starts to change your metabolism to where you start, instead of burning sugar, you start burning fat. Your nice stored fat, right? At 12 hours. So if I eat again at 12 hours, then my body's going to shift right back. But if I slowly get that to where now I'm only eating for 8 hours a day, so I have 16 hours of fast. I got 4 hours where my body is burning nothing but fat. All right, so what do you think is going to happen if my body is burning nothing but fat? Yes, for 4 hours. And if I go from 12, which is what they try to get you to, 12 to 6, right? So now I'm only eating in a 6-hour period, and I'm fasting for 18 hours. So now I have literally 6 hours that my body is doing nothing but burning fat and getting rid of bad stuff in my body, because that's what fasting does. It gets rid of the pollutants and the yuck that's in your body. If you haven't ever done intermittent fasting, I would start out slow, right? Don't just try to go for the full. I mean, you could, but you can also just do the 24-hour one. But this is a way of eating every day that will train your body, because our bodies, all of our bodies, are trained right now to burn sugar. That's what we know with the burn, carbohydrates and sugar. That wasn't what it was originally. We didn't used to eat 3 a day, every day. That's kind of a newer thing, a modern thing. But benefits of fasting, number one is it detoxifies your body. Okay? So it cleans out all the bad stuff. It's so good. And because of that, it improves your mental health. Literally, fasting makes you think clearer and better, because you don't have all that gunk in the way. Fasting helps you with weight loss. And I know that from a fact, because I did intermittent fasting and I lost quite a bit of weight. And I quit doing it and I gained weight back. So it's very good for weight loss. And of course, if you lose weight, that helps you with all kinds of things, right? It improves the health of your intestines, right? It allows them to actually clean out. When you keep putting food back to back to back to back, your intestines aren't going to clean out. Intermittent fasting, well, just any kind of fasting, helps that to clean out. How do you like that one? Yeah, so studies have shown that people with rheumatoid arthritis feel way better after fasting. Yeah. And I think it helps almost all the autoimmune, which would be osteoarthritis and others, right? Lupus and all that. Yeah.
Having your bigger meal, say, switching to around a little bit. You're not eating so much later in your body this time of year.
Absolutely. Yeah. That literally to me is the best way to do it. But because of my job and my work, right, I can't eat that late or that early. But if I was retired, that's exactly how I would do it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what window you, I mean, you know, where you decide to do that. You can go from 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, which would be fine. You know, however you want to make that 8 to 6 hours. All right, speeds up healing and makes your body heal better and faster. It makes your skin shine. It clears up. Literally, they've put people with acne on this intermittent fasting and regular fasting, and their skin problems, rashes, they go away. Isn't that weird? Yeah, all from fasting. Great thing. It releases, and one of the reasons that this stuff happens, I know it's going to come up there. Oh, now all 3 of them came up. It releases growth hormones. That's what, when your body gets to that state, it starts having to put out growth hormones, which are anti-aging, by the way. That's one of the things that happens to the body as we get older. Our growth hormone goes way down. And fasting helps that to come back. It actually increases your lifespan just by fasting. That's why it's so important. Protects your heart. Well, it's a hormone. It's called the growth hormone in your body. It's released from your pituitary gland. Well, it's just a hormone that you have as you're. No, it's a hormone that you have as a kid. You have the highest amounts of it. As you're growing, it does all kinds of metabolic things. Yeah. Growth hormone. In fact, they try to sell growth hormone, right, and for athletes and stuff, because it does so many things to make them kind of anti-aging kind of thing. So it protects the heart as well, makes that better. Repair and rejuvenation. I mean, it allows your body to repair and to rejuvenate. And not even up there is it literally can make type 2 diabetes a thing of the past. But if you're diabetic, you definitely better go into it slow. Okay, because your body will not be happy at the beginning. But the benefits of fasting are amazing, and fasting is easy to do. You know why? Because it doesn't cost you anything. What's it cost? In fact, if you want to know the truth, if you are eating in a smaller amount of time, you're probably eating less food, so you're probably not spending as much, so you probably save money. And so fasting is maybe one of the best things for the health of your body. And it's also, guys, very good for the health of your spirit, because this is normally, the fasting talk is normally in the part of my talk when I talk about spiritual health. Fasting is in there because Jesus said, when you fast, do it this way and you will have great reward from fasting. And so fasting is extremely, extremely important. And I would recommend that we all do it. I like the intermittent fasting for me because it's easier for me to control than the other. In a busy life, it is just easier for me. Yes, yeah, you can drink water and coffee and tea, as long as you don't put any junk in it. If you drink it black. Okay, so to be healthy, literally to be a healthy person, you need a healthy body, you need a healthy mind, and you need a healthy spirit. We talked today about having a healthy body. So really, this literally is one half of the seminar that I teach, which is fine. If people are willing and they want the mind part, which is, well, I mean, they're all very important, as you can see. And the spirit part, I will be willing to do that at some point. I don't know exactly when, but at some point we would advertise it again for the Biblical Health Seminar Part 2. So normally I run an 8-hour day on this, which it's just a long day. But I would sure be willing to do that one Saturday, some too. So anyway, thank you for coming. Oh, I should entertain any questions or anything like that. Okay. So the most of the experts say, boy, you should do it right when you're starting to go into it, right? So like at that in the morning, so you've been fasting, let's say all night, exercise in the morning before you eat. And that's going to really amp up your burn of fat, because your body's going to be going, all right, he's doing push-ups, or he's doing sit-ups, or he's doing whatever. I need energy. I need it from somewhere, and I don't have it from my food. I'm going to pull it from my stomach, right? Or from your fat. And so it starts burning fat. So that literally is the best from what the experts say as far, and I agree with that, because it just makes sense that your body doesn't have anything else to burn. So it wants to burn that. Yeah. Any other questions? No, I thought you were raising your hand back there. No? Okay. Thank you for coming. Have a nice